Before that moment, everything was possible for Apollo and Hyacinthus. Then nothing was. Welcome to the Prytan Podcast, a daily practice in living well and flourishing, guided by archetypal psychology and eternal virtues through the lens of the ancient Greek world. Each episode, we listen to a myth or other story and discuss what it means for you, the listener. Today, we're exploring the fate of Hyacinthus, the archetype of the grief for the rational man, and the virtue of Megalopsychia, greatness of soul. The god Apollo and his mortal love Hyacinthus were throwing the discus together, as they had many times before, when tragedy struck. Some myths say that Zephyrus, the west wind, changed the throw of the discus, having also loved Hyacinthus and unable to bear the sight of Apollo's happiness. Other myths say that Apollo threw the discus, not aware of how his godly strength could harm a mortal. Either way, the discus struck Hyacinthus in the head, and he fell. Apollo ran to him. He held Hyacinthus in his arms and tried to stop the bleeding, tried to use his arts of healing, tried everything a god could do, including giving divine ambrosia to his dying love. It was not enough. He could not undo what the discus had done. He stayed there until the end. And when Hyacinthus was gone, Apollo did what the creator archetype does with grief. He made something lasting from it. He transformed the place where Hyacinthus had fallen into a flower that now bears his name. Pausanias, visiting Sparta centuries later, records that the tomb of Hyacinthus was still there, that the Spartans held a festival in his name each year, and that they had not forgotten him. Apollo had made something that lasted. The flower, the festival, the name. Grief given a form that could be passed down through generations. The archetype and virtue. The Apollo archetype's characteristic emotional distance makes grief devastating when it finally arrives. Because the Apollo archetype rarely opens fully to another person, the rare times they do carry an enormous weight. They have not built the emotional pathways that someone who lives fully in feeling would have. The grief hits all at once, with nothing to absorb it. Apollo's response to the death of Hyacinthus is not to close down. He does not turn away, does not return to the lyre and the oracle and the business of being a god. He stays with what happened. He transforms the loss into the flower. This is the archetype opened up and refusing to seal itself back up. In the myth, the grief becomes the thing that lasts. Much like the story of Artemis and Orion, the Aristotelian virtue that names what this grief requires is Megalopsychia, which is broadly defined as greatness of soul, the correct estimation of one's own worth, neither inflated nor deflated. Megalopsychia acknowledges what is genuinely significant in their life and gives it its proper weight. What Aristotle is describing is not self-inflation. It is accuracy. The great-souled person does not pretend that great losses are small. They do not suppress grief in order to appear unaffected. They acknowledge the true weight of what has been lost because they have the soul large enough to hold it. Apollo, the god who stands at the center of the cosmos, who masters every domain he enters, is brought to his knees by the death of a mortal boy. This is not a failure of Megalopsychia. It is its expression. A person of small soul would not grieve like this, because they would not have opened like this. The capacity to be genuinely undone by true loss is the measure of what was genuinely loved. The Hyacinthus flower says, "This event mattered." The festival says, "It still does." That is Megalopsychia in the throes of grief, not the refusal to feel, but the willingness to give feeling its full and proper weight. And now, today's healing words. Feel free to repeat after me, or simply listen and absorb the words. I call on the Apollo within me, the part that can be opened up, that does not turn away from grief, that does not seal itself back up when love has cost something. I call on my own greatness of soul. The greatness that can hold the full weight of what I have lost, without making it smaller than it was. Without pretending it does not still matter. Today, I give grief its proper weight, not more than it deserves, not less. As we close out this episode, consider doing this project for today. Think of something or someone you have lost that you have not fully grieved. Not to dwell, but to give it its proper weight for a moment. Write just one sentence about what that loss actually meant to you, as honestly as you can. That sentence is your version of the hyacinthus flower, your grief made into something that lasts. That's it for today's episode. Tomorrow, on the Prytan Podcast, Apollo and Daphne, the shadow archetype of emotional distance and the virtue of flourishing, self-mastery. If you'd like to join our community and support what we do, you can subscribe to us on your platform of choice and follow us on social media. Links are on our website at prytanpodcast.com. That's Prytan podcast.com. In the meantime, live well and flourish.